Hi guys! Today I'll show you how to make dosa and idli batter. Dosas and idlis are a typical South Indian breakfast item, and I love to eat them both. To make dosa batter, you need raw rice and urad dal. These are split beans, and they look like this. You can also get whole urad dal without the skin, so you can use the whole urad dal or split like this. You can use different types of rice for the dosa batter. The most commonly used types of rice are idli rice and punni boiled rice. Today I'm using punni boiled rice. I'm using a 2-to-1 ratio of rice to urad dal. This is 3 cups of rice and 1.5 cups of urad dal. The rice is 600 grams or 21 ounces, and the urad dal is 300 grams or 10.5 ounces. I just measured it in a dry measuring cup. You can use any cup to measure the rice and the dal. Just make sure it's the same cup. You just want a 2-to-1 ratio. Of course, you can make a smaller quantity or a larger quantity, as long as it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So the ingredients for the dosa batter are the rice, dal, little salt, water, and that's it. First thing we need to do is wash the rice and the dal. Cover the rice and dal with water. You see the water is getting cloudy, and any impurities will flow to the top. Discard this water, fill with more clean water, wash again. Do it a total of 3 times. Each time you wash it, the water will get clearer. I've washed it for the 3rd time. Pour off the water. Now I'll cover the rice in water. You can use room temperature water. Wash the dal for the 3rd time, pour off the water. And cover the dal with water to soak. Soak the rice and dal for a minimum of 6 hours. I usually soak the rice and dal in the morning and grind it in the evening. To grind them, I'm going to use this wet grinder. I did do a full review of it, so if you want to see that, I'll put a link in the description below. Wet grinders have these stones that turn and grind the rice or lentils. This is ideal for grinding rice and dal. It comes out perfectly. If you don't have a wet grinder, you can use a food processor. Since food processors come with a plastic bowl, just remember that the bowl may get scratched up with the rice, but it will do a decent job on the batter. Another option is your blender. Again, since it has a plastic container, grinding the rice may scratch up the plastic. So the jar could look a little cloudy. In most Indian households, there are blenders with the steel jars, and they're perfect for grinding rice and dal. You don't have to worry about anything getting scratched up. My rice has been soaked and is ready to grind. Pour off all the water that you soaked the rice in. I'll grind the rice first. In this ultra grinder, I have to put 1 cup of water first, 250 milliliters. I'll start the grinder and put my rice in a little bit at a time. With this grinder, I used 1 cup of water total, 8 ounces or 250 milliliters. You don't want to use more water than you need to. It's been about 20 minutes. I'm going to turn the grinder off and see if the batter's smooth. It should be perfectly smooth and not grainy at all. The batter's smooth, now we can take it out of the container. Have a big bowl ready. You want it to be really big because the batter will rise. It'll almost double in volume, so it needs the space. Otherwise, when it rises, it'll go above the bowl and all over your counter. I'm not going to be washing the stones or the container because I'll be grinding the dal in the same grinder. Set the ground rice aside and we'll grind the dal. I'll pour in 1 cup of water Turn the machine on and put the urad dal in little by little. Sometimes the urad dal goes flying and gets all over the container, so just scrape it down and continue grinding. It's been 10 minutes. I'm going to add a little bit more water. The batter is smooth, it's soft and fluffy. It's ready. To grind the dal, I added a little over a cup of water. You can see how thick and fluffy the batter is. I'll add a teaspoon of coarse salt. Generally, I would mix this with my clean hands. That is the best tool, and that's the way my family's always done it. But I have a huge cut on my hand, so I'm going to use a big spoon. You want to make sure this is thoroughly mixed. Spend the extra time and mix it really well. Now the batter is thoroughly mixed. Cover the bowl and leave it until it's fermented. If your house is warm, fermentation will take just a few hours. If your house is cold, it can take a lot longer than that. Usually I make the batter at night before I go to bed, and in the morning it's ready. If you live in a cold climate, put the batter in the warmest part of your kitchen. That's usually the oven. In the winter, I don't leave the batter on my cold granite countertop because it would never rise. You can turn the oven on to a very low temperature, turn it off, wait a few minutes, and then leave the batter in the oven. The oven should not be too hot, otherwise it'll cook the batter. Since it's summer here and about 90 degrees, I'm going to leave the batter on my countertop and go to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. The batter did not rise in the morning. It's late afternoon now, and it's risen. You can put it in the oven with the oven light on. That gives it a little warmth. Or like I said before, turn the oven on to a low heat and then turn it off. A few minutes later, put the batter into the oven. And the residual heat should help the batter rise. The batter didn't double in volume, but as you can see, it has risen and there's some bubbles on top, so it is fermented. And that's how it should look. Mix this thoroughly. Taste a drop of it and add more salt if you need to. I'll add a half a teaspoon more salt, and the salt I'm using is coarse salt. The batter should not be salty, it just needs a hint of salt. Once you mix in the salt, your batter is ready. This thickness is perfect for making idlis. You don't have to add any water. But if you want to make dosas, take some of the batter out, put it in a separate bowl, and add some water to make it loose. Add a little water at a time. That's the perfect consistency for thinner dosas. From the big bowl of batter, take whatever batter you want to use right away and refrigerate the rest of the batter. It'll be fine in the fridge for about 5 days. Making this batter is not difficult. It is, however, time consuming. But the batter will last in the fridge, so you can have dosas and idlis for almost a week. And no, I never get sick of dosas and idlis. Now you know the simple method of making dosa and idli batter. I will post another video on how to actually make the dosa using this batter. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. Subscribe for more recipes and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.